Hey there, welcome. You know what? Ruben and I are so grateful that you're here. Do us a favor if you can, subscribe to our channel, ring that bell, and you know what? That would just help us out a lot. And I hope you're enjoying the channel. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. We have a news item that I think is fascinating. It's actually something, some article that we are going to comment on, and the article is titled "There's Only One True Bipartisan Issue Left." And what is that one bipartisan issue that brings both Democrats and Republicans together? Well, interestingly enough, Jacob, it involves what we
Mm,
do for a living, and that is teaching, specifically the use of phones for students. And that is, should we ban phones? Yes, no more phones for students. They are not allowed to bring them to school. That is what is being discussed. That is the policy, and it's being spread. It's been like a agreement among people such as Governor Gavin Newsom of all people, and I'm forgetting the in the article that this a Republican governor, but
I think the Arkansas governor, right?
yeah, wildly different political views, but they agree that students should not be accessing their phones at all in school. It should be banned. And so I will say this, Jacob. Let's first talk about our policies at our respective schools, and then you comment maybe on what you think of this of the content of this article.
Okay.
Um, and even before we say it, one of the reasons they say, and Robert Kennedy, the Health and Human Secretary, Secretary, has commented on this, and he agrees with the banning, and it has to do with student engagement with each other. It's a very social dynamic thing. That's the concern that these are growing people.
Hmm.
These are maturing human beings. They're not adults yet, and they're still developing those social things, so social ideas and socialization, and the phones are stunting them. And so this is really addressing that component of student life. Okay, it's not just the academics, because I think when we discussed this in the past, we kind of focused on the classroom dynamics of what a phone does. So, if I'm correct, Jacob, at your school, the student is must place their phone in a school
It's like
pocket.
a pouch and it has Velcro on the top, and they have to close it up. They have to show us they're putting the phone in, close the Velcro, put it in their backpack.
So a school administered um, kind of pocket,
Yeah,
they place it in there and they can't bring it out to the end of the day.
right.
At our school, phones are not banned at all. They can carry them at all times, except that when they walk into class, each classroom has the famous pockets, the classroom pockets. Uh, and there's 35 pockets in my classroom, and it's stuck to the wall. And they come in, and I watch them. My desk is nearby, and I just please don't forget to put them in. I just gently remind them.
Right.
They're very good at it. And one of my class, so 35 pockets. One of my classes has 37 students, so I
Mhm.
have to be a little creative about that. So, um, let me ask you, after reading this article, what is your take on the banning of phones in schools?
No, I'm actually okay with it because I see at our school, Ruben, the social piece is important, and we brought that out. But the other piece that we've seen is that our scores have really tanked since COVID, and we're starting to see them go back up. And we think since this policy has helped, Kids are putting their phones away. They're not distracted. I know for me as a teacher, I like looking out and not seeing kids on their phones. And right now, this policy has changed a little bit because last year it was magnetic pouches, which were harder to get into. If you locked it, you can't get to it until at the end of the school year, school day. But now they're Velcro, so they're easier for the kids to kind of, go into them if they need to. I'm actually okay with the Velcro because there are times, Ruben, that I want the kids to have their phone so they could take some pictures of my notes or pictures of an activity that we're doing. And I'm like, man, I wish they had their phones. And so this Velcro actually allows us to have them do that. So I'm good with it as long as and so far, like I said, before I have mostly seniors, I only have like 10 juniors and like 220 seniors. And so the seniors pretty much know what, they need to accomplish and do. So I don't really have problems with it. But I have seen though in the last, geez, couple weeks since the kids have been at school, I have seen more socialization than I have in the last couple years since COVID. I see a lot more talking. The first time I think a couple times yesterday, I said, "Hey, let's keep it down over there." And part of me said, "Oh, that's pretty good. I haven't done that in a while. I have not quieted people in a long time because they just don't talk." And now they're talking. I'm like, that's not that bad of a problem. You want them to socialize. And I tell them, okay, you can talk as long as, you're doing your work. So, and they're like, well, this is good. This is a good issue. And so, yeah, the article that we read dealt with the social piece. And I know Huckabee, right, from Arkansas, the governor, Sandra, I forget her name now, Sarah Huckabee. Am I saying it wrong? And she's the governor, and she has small children, and she's concerned about their socializing. And I'm glad that she brought that out. But then one of the people in the legislature in her state, who's a Democrat, working with her to pass legislation. And so, yeah, you see that happening throughout the country in Arkansas and other states, Utah. And I'm really happy to see that it's happening around the country, and it's not just one party. It's bipartisan effort to get these phones out of the classroom.
Okay, let me try this again. So this is God has put me here to help you focus. Okay. It's a very clear question. We've had this discussion before, and we finally we had a when I asked you the same question is should there be a ban? It was something similar, a meandering answer, but that time you said, well, if the teachers want a uniform, then I'm for it. And then I kept trying to force you, well, what's your position though? And finally you gave me a position. I don't remember what it was. Clearly it was forgettable. Now,
Jeez, it's forgettable. That's nasty.
now listen to me.
Steve, Steve.
Listen to me. I'm not asking you for your life story or what you had for breakfast or how you saw socialization. In the article, they're Republicans and Democrats are saying we want a school ban on cell phones. You said, well, I have no problem with that. What's your position though? Do you agree that there
Yeah.
should be a ban on
Oh yeah,
phones?
it's very simple. I mean, I think by me sharing what I did, I thought it was inferred that. But yeah, I
No.
think so. But I think the audience would say so. But I would say that yeah, I feel like yes, I'm definitely for the ban. I mean, I'm very
Okay.
happy that's
That
happening.
that's very clear.
Yeah.
Now, after that, you can give a long, detailed response, but you have to be clear because I tell this to my students all the time. People don't remember all those details. We need to hear a clear answer. What's that mean?
I don't know anybody who would be against it though.
So
Well,
my response is I was very much against the ban last time, and we discussed this. I said, and my issue is that it felt like um, it's unrealistic to ban phones from school. It's just unrealistic because students need phones, and not only that, we're preparing them for real world. Everybody has a phone. You're not banned in the universities. But I gotta say, after reading this article, I never saw it from that point of view they brought up. I never thought of it. I never thought through it in terms of the socialization.
yeah.
So one of the key points they brought in is that uh, when students went into their cars when they got picked up by their parents and they drove home, students were more talkative
Hmm.
as they were forced to, instead of looking at their phones all day during lunch or during lunch looking at their phones, now they had to talk to each other. And it's really that development of the social component that is very interesting
Yeah.
that really was drawn out in the article. So I am I'm going to still hold on to should schools be banned, should phones be banned? I'm going to say I'm still going to say yes, but I've been moved and I'm closer to saying let's ban them. I'm closer. I've been moved a little bit by this article. It's
Okay.
really, and I haven't researched it as much as these others
I think to
have.
be fair though, too, your school experience is different than I think most people. Private schools is a little different, I think, in
Yeah.
public. I mean, not to say that there's not issues in private schools because there is, and I think this issue is there, but it's maybe not as extreme, you know. But for my school, this is like a no-brainer. That's why I'm like, of course, well,
It-
who would think like you? I thought myself, but I guess you do think like yourself, so I'm not gonna, you know, you know.
I don't know what you just said, but might want to repeat
I
what
would
you
say
just.
most people would agree with this is kind of like a no-brainer. Like, hey, you know what? Why wouldn't you want kids not to have phones in school? That doesn't
Oh,
make sense. That's what I'm trying to say. And then
yeah,
but you're saying you're okay with it, but you've been moved a little bit. So, okay.
yeah. I'm still there. Well, and to your point about my school, yes, it's not a typical school because even when they have their phones at lunch, they engage way more than I typically see.
Yeah.
Students, they do get on TikTok though. TikTok and they do that whole thing. But I still, even with my students, I still see it and I still like that idea of, man, it's forcing them to talk to each other. So I don't know, Jacob, the next time we have a video like this, you might hear me saying, I'm on team ban phones. Get ready.
We'll see.
So thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.